The UN Environment Program headquarters, joined by the Executive Director, Andersen. We're going to have a chance today to talk a little bit about the role of service in civil society through the lens of the environment. Inger, thank you so much for having us here on your beautiful campus.
It's wonderful to have you, Jennifer, and the entire Rotary family. You are most welcome.
Thank you so much. So we have so much that we're going to be able to dive into, but a big question. What are some of the main environmental concerns right now that certainly you're working on and that we as a world need to be focused on?
Well, in UNEP, the United Nations Environment Program, which is a UN's body that deals with environment and science around it and the policy recommendations that countries need to adhere to, we speak about a triple planetary crisis. The crisis of climate change, which everyone understands, I think, because we're seeing it not just in the newspapers, in our lives right now, but also the crisis of nature loss, biodiversity loss. We're sitting in this very amazing place in Nairobi, Kenya, but nature is disappearing before our very eyes. And so working with that. And the third crisis, pollution and waste. We are polluting, we are wasting, and that is causing an impact on the environment. So these three things are critical, and this is kind of the core of what we work with. We work on science and how that science can be implemented in policy spaces and on the ground.
And a lot of work to do, isn't there?
A lot of work to do, which is why it's great to have partners such as Rotary,
Exactly.
Of course, and many others that are helping make that lift at the community level and at the global level.
Well, and so much of it is what our Rotary family is already passionate about, especially with younger members in our organization. The environment is, for young thinkers, we all think that way. The UN General Assembly recently declared a healthy community as a right, a human right for everyone. Why is that important?
You know, there are these rights that we have, right to life, right to a house and a right to education. These rights that we have assumed were just ours to be, right to peace. So they are enshrined in the Human Rights Charter. But when the Charter was created, there wasn't really, the right to a clean and healthy and sustainable environment was not a concern that the average citizen had on this world, because we were still living in relatively better balance with nature and with our environment. But now this has been agreed. So yes, it doesn't mean that immediately all countries have a law that says it, but what it does mean is that there's sort of a sense that this is now globally, universally accepted.
It is. Our members are very passionate about the environment, as I said, and the grant structure that we have, building in environmental protection and measurement and impact measures is critically important to us to be able to do that. How do you see that in parallel with the work of this organization?
I'm so glad that you said that, and that is part and parcel of your work, because look, while the primary work that you do, I expect, is for betterment of community lives and people's lives. But as we are beginning to see it, a community is healthy when its environment is healthy. And so tracking that, many times you can track a thing like childhood dysentery or diarrhea, and you can track it right back to pollution of the waterway, right? So there is an inherent connection and an indivisibility between a community health, well-being, happiness, and an environment's health, well-being, and happiness, if you like. And of course, the Sustainable Development Goals that we approved as a global community back in 2015, these goals, these 17 goals, are also indivisible. So in a way, an environment is woven right into them. So in a way, that's how I think the work that you do and the work that we do at the United Nations is very much in sync in this way.
What I love about this is that it's not just it's a massive undertaking, but it can be done by one person.
Absolutely.
Each person adds up to big, lasting change.
Exactly, and I think this is sort of our message to the world, really. No, this is not something that nothing will happen if I don't take action. Everything happens if we take action. We have choices that we make in everything that we do, the way we consume, the way we live, the way we travel, where we choose to work, how we interact with our colleagues in our churches, mosques and synagogues, how we engage with a broader understanding of environment. If we sort of carry that with us without being preachy, of course, but just living those values. Actually, we can reduce, actually, we can reuse, actually, we can recycle, and actually, we can lighten the footprint that we as humanity have on this earth and that we must have as we prepare our, grow our food and have our industry and our infrastructure. We understand that, but we can do that while also protecting the environment. And this is where I'm so very pleased that we are having this opportunity for collaboration with Rotary International.
I cannot thank you enough for the wonderful opportunity to have this conversation, for our members to be able to hear from you, and for the partnership that we have together and the ability for us jointly to be able to move things forward on our planet. It really truly is an honor, and I thank you so much for your leadership.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for this collaboration, Jennifer. It's a great pleasure from our side as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone for watching today. It has been a wonderful opportunity to be able to hear from Inger Andersen and to learn a little bit more about what we can all do to make our planet a stronger place.